Hello, this is Jasmin Griffiths, and today I'm talking with Malcolm Stewart from the Chaos Creative Division.
Hello, Jasmin.
Malcolm has been a photographer for around 30 years now. So, how did you get into photography, Malcolm?
Well, when I was around 10 years old, I was out with my mother, and I can't remember what it was, but I got the urge to take photographs. And I ended up getting one of these old Kodak Instamatics, which I think everybody had in those days, for my birthday.
Oh,
And
that's
it sort of
interesting.
grew from there. There was a sort of big gap in between because photography then, buying film and getting it processed was so expensive. And it wasn't until many years after, till I was around 20, 25 years old, went seriously into photography.
That's very interesting. So, why do you like photography so much?
It's a science, but it can be used as an art form, and I think most people do use it as an art form. And my family are very artistic, all except for me. I've got this blockage sort of between my brain and my hands. I can't draw. I can't do nothing. I can't create it too. But with a camera, the
You
art.
can channel your creativeness
Yeah,
through a camera rather than with the rest of your family through
Yeah, the art, the,
artwork.
the artwork is there. All you've got to do is capture it.
So, can you tell us about your experience taking photos down the mine?
Oh, that was probably the best part of photography because you're working in somewhere. When you're taking photographs, you're working with light, and in the mine you haven't got any light, and any slight bit of dampness damages your camera. It totally destroys your camera connections. Your flash guns don't work. You're working in the most filthy conditions and quite often dangerous conditions that you can get, and you can spend weeks down there taking photographs and end up with nothing until you get used to the conditions.
But did it all end up being worth it for the good photography you got down there?
Oh yes, yes,
Yes.
most definitely, yeah.
Well, that's good then. So, what is your favourite thing to take photos of?
I don't mind photographing anything. Hey, if someone gives me a subject or an idea, it's working out how to best photograph that and get the photograph. I'm sort of up for anything really.
Would you say you've got a wide variation of photography skills there with different types of photography?
I have done every sort of photography except the unmentionable kind.
Yes. So, what has been your favourite ever photography project that you've done?
I think my favourite was a challenge I was given when I was working at the School of Mines. I was asked if I could take some photographs in ultraviolet, working under ultraviolet light.
It must have been a bit abstract from what you're usually doing.
It does, because some rocks, they actually fluoresce under ultraviolet light, and the lecturer asked me to do this, sort of says, I'll give you a challenge. He says, because nobody's been able to do it, not even our previous photographer.
And did you manage it?
I'd done it first time.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, can you tell me a little bit about the challenges you found of photography?
The main challenge is I've just come come out of a creative block, but otherwise it's not a challenge. I've got an eye condition where if you look at something, you always hear a lot of people say, what looks different through the camera, it looks different, it's because you're looking in 3 dimensions. You see things in 3 dimensions. When you look through a camera, you're looking at a flat screen, which is only 2 dimensions. That's why it looks different.
So, would you say a challenge is finding the correct angle to portray?
Oh,
the
you
photo in
always
the-
different angles on your photographs, but why I find it so easy is because I can only see in 2 dimensions. So looking through a camera is totally the same as I'm looking at you now.
Oh, so it kind of gives people an insight into the way you see
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah,
That must be a completely different life.
yeah.
So, what is some advice you would give to people starting out in photography?
Well, starting out in photography is just to keep taking photographs. If they want to take it up as a career, they don't want to go through all the hard work that I went through. They need to go to college or university. Then you leave university and get a job as an assistant with a well-established photographer,
Yes.
then develop their own style and move on from there.
Yeah, yeah. What is the process of taking a photo for you? You mentioned you have some problems with your eyesight that restrict you.
Yeah, as I said earlier on with my eyesight, I can only see in 2 dimensions. So I find photography quite easy with just putting the camera in front of my face and pointing it at the subject. Taking the process of taking the camera for me is basically just deciding where I'm going,
Yeah.
what I'm going to take photographs of, packing them in the bag, sticking them on my back, and off I go.
Yeah, yeah. So what are your future plans for your photography?
Well, I spent most of my life with sort of people ringing me up and calling on me, can you photograph this for me, can you photograph that for me, and you don't get a lot of time then to photograph what you want to photograph.
Yeah.
But that's what I intend to do now, is photograph what I want to photograph.
Find the things that you really love to photograph.
Yeah, and sell my work,
Would you say you use the Cornish landscape as a good photography?
The Cornish landscape is probably, if you're a freelance photographer doing what I intend to do, taking photographs to sell, you're in the best part of the country for doing it.
Yeah, the perfect place for photography, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tell us about the upcoming Stewart Chaos Craft Day on July 1st.
Yes, I'm bringing in a load of photographs. They're all framed and mounted and priced, and so
Already
come
then.
along and buy some.
Yeah,
'Cause
that is July 1st, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
that's right. Yeah.
What have you been doing at the Chaos Creative Provision so far?
Which was made redundant from the School of Mines. My wife was very ill. She
Right.
became very ill,
Yeah.
and I had to look after her, and I had to come out of photography altogether. Then I was ill
Yeah.
myself, so I was out of photography for quite a while. And in the meantime, it changed from what you would call film and night meters to digital photography. So basically, I had to relearn all over again.
So you had to have a new clean slate kind of thing when you went into
Yeah.
photography again.
Yeah, I find it much more enjoyable as well.
Yes,
Yeah, because I've been at the course learning to use Photoshop and in advertising, and it's very interesting.
So would you say Chaos has helped you with your editing skills of the photos as
Oh,
well?
very, very much, very much.
Yeah.
You
Would you
know,
say that's an important part of photography?
very important, very
Yes,
important.
yeah.
If you're trying to edit a photograph through a camera, it can sometimes be extremely difficult.
Yes, yeah.
But with Photoshop, you can just wipe it out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's been really good talking to you, Malcolm.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.